Yes, it's recording. So DC here. Hi guys. Not in my usual setting, not whatsoever. I was driving along and I saw this little graveyard. And as soon as I saw it, I thought about Gosling 1955 and thought he probably would like to see a little bit in a graveyard. I know that he likes visiting them, and actually so do I. And I've been by this one a while, but I never actually stopped. Now, this is probably a funny setting, but it's going to be for my reply to Blazer on the evolution of families and so on. And why a graveyard? Well, for one reason is that family memories should live on, despite the fact that some of the members might be lying here. That is one of the things. But do they? Do they in reality? Now, how often, and I mean I've had this happen in my own family, when the grandparent dies off, I would say the super glue of the family, when that person dies off, well, actually very often the cohesion kind of goes away. You know, sometimes there's one family member that so stands out that everything goes according to that person, and when that person leaves, well, there's just that emptiness, and yeah, it doesn't always work out. That happens. It happened on one side of my family, and it takes a lot of work to get things back, and sometimes they never do, actually. Now, what about relationships with cousins and uncles and so on? Blazer mentioned something about having seen an uncle some like 10 years after, and not the uncle had not recognized him. Now, I can see that actually happening, because like I think about my cousins. We played with them regularly. I mean, like, we're talking about more or less every weekend we would see them. We would go camping, or not actually camping, we'd go picnicking on Lake Champlain. We would go in different places. This is banging. It's making a little noise. There you are. And we would go on different places, you know, and we would have picnics, and we'd have loads of fun, and play, and play. And then they growed up, and so did we. Boyfriends, girlfriends, got married. The family we were probably the closest to as far as our cousins went moved off to Western Canada, Alberta actually, and we kind of lost track. Not only kind of, we lost track. I mean, I get news every now and then from family members, or my mother might ask my uncle and so on, but it just kind of evaporates. And you really wonder about that. I mean, I see this as something that happens in most families, is that family ties don't seem to hold, strangely enough, past probably brothers and sisters. I don't know why. At least, I mean, in our case, it's not like we didn't like each other. I mean, contrary. I mean, we got along very well. But then there was a distance. Maybe it was also the fact is that not only the distance, but the fact is we didn't have maybe the money to go see them, and vice versa. I mean, there was only money maybe for the parents to go off to one to the other. I don't know. You know, it's a difficult one actually, because then when you get to be my age, and I've noticed that with some of the cousins, you try actually to get back. You try to, you know, to bring some of those ties back, and it's not actually all that easy. I can see a tractor coming over there, and he's looking at this guy making a video in the graveyard. And it's just one of those things. I mean, now I know very well that we do have to try and work on that. I mean, in a way, I think, at least I think that way, is to try and catch up with some of those family members. But once you've waited maybe too long, it's very difficult, because once we've gone each our own ways, there's just no, like I was talking about that sticky glue or whatever, that crazy glue to put it together, there's none of that left. And at points we're almost more strangers than relatives. And that's what becomes very difficult. I guess the one thing we have to say is that in the case of the immediate family members, brothers, sisters, also their father and so on. In today's day and age now with Skype and these type of systems, or whatever, the communication barrier has gone down. I could see that actually with, for example, with my brother, we did not telephone all that much. Maybe there was a certain, I don't know, problem with the phone or what, but once actually you have something like Skype, you can do it much more easier. Funnily enough, I mean, with my brother, we talk a lot more since we each have Skype. It's evolution. Now, another thing, I gotta check those minutes. Where is it? I'm looking right into you guys, and here it is, 5 minutes 48. The sun, it's not the sunlight, this is. I'm an expatriate. I live in Canada, and I've been gone away from Canada for 25 years now. So what relation is that as well? Well, the relationship actually in that respect is a difficult one. I mean, the first few years, we wrote letters all the time. We didn't have a phone. I've mentioned that before, actually. We didn't have a phone until something like 3 years after we had left Canada. So, you know, a lot of letters. We had some visits from family members, but you did keep actually quite close that way. Now, later on, I mean, it becomes very tenuous actually to keep the relationships up, because you are away. Phone bills maybe have gone down, but they're still there. Now, how is it going to evolve? It's difficult to say. I mean, like, some people go back to their mother country after retirement. Now, I have difficulty seeing doing that. We have 2 boys. They are here. They're Swiss now. I mean, they've established themselves. They have friends. You know, they're in love with different people. And, I mean, I can imagine that they will settle down here. It'll only be normal. So now I could turn the other way around. Do I want to go back and leave them alone? You know, the family over there, of course, I really do miss them. But they have each other at least. And if I left here with my wife, well, our boys would be alone. And I guess that's basically, you know, kind of says it all. I don't want to leave them and wouldn't want to leave them. Maybe they'll leave us and go off like we did. I don't know. And I mean, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But that about says it all, I guess. Yeah, Blaze, I don't know if that's the answer you wanted, but it's the one that I can give, because it is the way I see it. I mean, things change. It certainly changed a lot of ways, in maybe the way you said it did. But I find with the internet, we've actually, strangely enough, managed to become closer, at least to the immediate family members. And you know, I'm not going to get into the friendship topic, because we're really talking about family there, blood family. And yeah, and as for my own children, well, I'll just do my best, and I hope that we can be as close to the family as we are now, and it keeps on. How many minutes? Oh, I am really getting there. 8 minutes 30. I'm going to take this off. Yeah, that tractor is going over there. Try and show you quickly. Okay, so here's the little graveyard that I'm in. It's actually quite well upkept. I mean, I was kind of hoping it was going to be a little dumpy graveyard, you know what I mean, old and full of old things. Far off there's a lake. Maybe we'll go over it. Yeah, so in a way, it is actually appropriate to talk about family in a graveyard, because that's where they rest eventually. That's where we will rest eventually. And with Easter coming up, it's probably also appropriate, because it does say that we will all be reunited. And we'll have a lot of things to say when that happens. We'll get to know all our family members once again. And actually, guys, we'll have chats for those that haven't managed to see each other before. At least that's the way I see it. Okay, at least he's going to be signing off. Take care, and Blazer, I hope this was something that you wanted as a reply. Take care. Guys, this one is especially for Steve, actually. I'd like to show you which town we're in. Misery. Stephen King says hello to you.